Okay, welcome everyone to Into the West. Today it's Charles here with Richard, and we have a guest here with us. It is Frank. Welcome, Frank.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And so today we're going to be talking about Nova Open 2025. And Frank attended this event, and we're just going to go over the top performing lists as well as we're going to talk a little bit about the tournament as well. So, Frank, how did you think Nova was this year?
I really enjoyed it. It's always a great event. The community's great. I enjoy the tables are fantastic. The tables are very scenic. But the further down you go in the list, so if you like lose a game, you get to play on cooler and cooler tables, right? If you're at the higher tables, they're more placed for competitive play, and so I always appreciate that. Great TOs, great staff working the computer. Shout out to I'm not going to shout anybody out yet, but but yeah, no, it's just a great event. I always enjoy that one.
Yeah.
Tough competition, good players.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it's probably one of the longest running NA tournaments, and it's one of the biggest ones. You want to tell us a little bit about your competitive background? Because we actually reviewed your army in the top 10 Nova last year, placing eighth. And spoilers, you're going to be in this year's episode as well. So, you've obviously done well for yourself.
So yeah, my competitive background in this game, I've started. I'm a old school Warhammer 40,000 player from back in the day.
Fool this man!
And so I got out of games for a while. In the last 3 years, I kind of got back into it. And I've always loved Tolkien and Lord of the Rings. And
He'll be cool. Yeah, he's cool.
there were some models that I saw, and I was like, I'm gonna get those. I'm gonna try them out. Found the community in the Northeast. Uh, the Northeast has a great community, and that really hooked me. And I was like, oh, I gotta play. And I think one of my first games was against Alisher. I played fiefdoms, and he just destroyed me. It was great. I had a lot of fun. I come from a background of sports where I love to play the best I can play, even if they destroy me. My Connecticut team will make fun of me because I'm the only guy who really wanted to play against Team USA at the team tournament that just happened. I was like really excited to because I'm like, oh, they're going to destroy us, but it's going to be great. We're going to learn so much, you know. I guess I have that kind of attitude where I like to play against the best players, and even if I lose, you learn something, and that's good, you know.
No, that's awesome. I mean, that's how you get better, really. I've always said you get better more so through losses than wins. Well done, though. Two solid
Thank you.
places, and we'll see how you did in this year's still. But
Okay.
yeah, I guess starting from 15. So starting with Zachary Johnson at 15. So, Men of the West. 28 models. Aragorn, King Elisar, leading 10 warriors of Minas Tirith with shield and spear, 3 with just shield. Gwahir, Captain of Minas Tirith, leading 8 warriors of Minas Tirith with spear and shield, 1 Rohan banner, and 3 warriors of Minas Tirith with shield. So, any thoughts on this list, guys?
So I can't speak to how great the list is because there were a lot of men of the Wests, but I will tell you about Zach Johnson. What a great guy. He was the Mumac player I lost to last Nova. A lot of fun to play. Just a great guy. He had a great run until he ran into Connor, who took second. And then he played the third place Trey. Lost to both of them, but he's always a competitor. Every time I've ever seen him play, he's in it.
Yeah, that's a pretty strong strength of schedule then if both of his
Yeah.
losses came from the podium players. So I
Yep.
guess yeah, even if he ended up 15th, then that's it's still an achievement. I recently played Men of the West in a tabletop simulator tournament, and yeah, I do like this build with Gwai here. I think it's quite strong at 700 and above. I did play it at 800 points. I am curious why I guess he took the captain, I guess for numbers, because Aragorn is just a free marching machine, right? Because at 800, I went Aragorn, Legolas, and Gwai here. So I guess, Legolas is more expensive. He doesn't want to go down in troops. So yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, it's just The
It looks like
efficiency gets to me a little bit.
Maybe
a
for the survivability, D was it D8
Yeah, with the
with
shield
the
wall.
shield wall? Yeah.
couple extra guys and only a Rohan banner that can pass off to a minus tier banner.
Yeah.
Right.
And he's one of the cheapest options, right? So if you want to max out the numbers, because the cheaper, the only ones that are really cheaper are like the Hobbits and Rohan Captain and maybe
Yeah,
Aragorn.
I
Yeah.
guess if he didn't go for the because Aragorn technically is a 6-inch banner effect. You won't get like the banner VPs, but if you drop the banner in another guy, that's legless right there. So I guess 26 is a bit light at 700, but you know, yeah, I think it's worth the consideration, but I don't know if that build would actually be better at 700. So this might be the way to go, honestly. And yeah, but to be honest, like the main reason why you're playing this list is Aragorn and Gwahir. Yeah, those two models win you a lot of games.
Yeah, nothing. Another thing to be said is his three victories were major, and then his two losses were both minor. So I don't know if you guys knew the rules for the major and minor that were changed in this. Just double points is a major. So you could be 2-0, and it's a major. So to have two minor losses against number two and number three, that's significant in my mind.
Right. Yeah, definitely close games. Okay, let's go to number 14. Frank, do you want to go through Jacob Perkins' list here?
Well, yeah, so Wolfpack. I love the Wolfpack. I have just painted one up. I'm gonna use it with werewolves and wargs. Looks like a pretty balanced list. Only 36 models for 700 points. Seems low. Well, let me see how many. He's got a lot of wild warg chieftains, which got some punch. And his only loss was to Bruno. Bruno, another great guy. I mean, it looks like a really fast, balanced list, but 36 just feels light to me.
Yeah. Yeah. So just to quickly summarize the list, we're not going to read all of it because it's pretty
Yep.
much the same, but for our audio listeners, it's five Wild Warg chieftains, four werewolves, and the rest split between Wild Wargs and Fell Wargs, basically. 36 models. Yeah, and I have played this list as well. Very fun and very impressive that it made it this high because most of the times I'm playing as just in casual games, like it's not the strongest list, but it can hit quite hard. And then looking at his matchup here, is that his I believe that's his first game there is against Scott Dronfield, who is one of the
Well, it looks like I think that's his last game.
last game.
The last game's Drone Field, yeah.
Okay.
That's the only name that I recognize actually,
Yeah, yeah.
besides
Scott is a
Pet.
very strong player, right? In the Mark League. So, getting a win there, very impressive.
I want to know what the Frozen Hobbit League is. That's a cool team name.
Let it go, let it go.
Maybe somewhere in Minnesota. I I think I recognize this name
Mhm.
though. I feel like he also went to Adepticon this year, and we'd have to look back on our video there, but I think he also placed quite high. So
It's great. It's great seeing this perform so well because when we talked about it on our tier list, we rated it pretty mid to low kind of compared to other armies. So it's good to see the potential, 5 out of 6 games.
yeah.
Yeah, it's good and multiple drops that are very similar. So it makes it very utilitarian. You can
Oh, no, one draw. One draw.
oh
And
he
so,
had a
Oh,
draw and a minor loss, yeah.
yeah.
oh, so 4 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss.
All right. Number 13. Okay, so Alex Orzak from Texas was also in our Discord. Charles, do you want to go over his list?
hmm Yeah, so knowing Alex, he was very excited to play Gullivar again. And so he brought Shadows of Angmar. And so he has Gullivar in the first warband with an Orc banner, 4 bowmen, 1 specter, 7 orcs with spear, 2 with shield, and 1 wild warg. And then a shaman, hang on, 2 shamans with the same warband of 2 bows and 3 spears in each. And then 2 barrel whites, each with 2 bows and 3 spears. And then a 1 drop orc shaman final warband. So That's three orc shamans, two barrow wights, and Gullivar for a total of 42 models.
I wonder what he's trying to do there with the three shamans. I don't think, wait, the orc shaman doesn't have fury, right? So,
No, he's getting it for the wither.
Yeah, Wither.
Spam wither.
yeah.
I think there were a couple lists. I heard people talking about multiple shaman spam withers, and then also a couple of many barrow white lists. So very interesting. But this looks like a good list. 42 models. I'm pleased with it. Looks like a decent amount of bows.
Yeah, this is also very interesting. I know when we did our tier list, it was when, Gully was not a model. So now he is definitely playable, but this isn't really on anyone's radar as like, a top competitive list. So, Alex going 4 wins and 1 loss is also quite impressive. Like I'm honestly quite impressed with the list we've looked at so far because it's not anything that is like ranked competitively.
And his only loss was to Connor, also same gentleman I lost to, who took second. So it's only it looks like two minors.
Yeah. So I guess Gully is officially back then.
I can
I
see
got
the all the spellcasters being scary against a lot of lists, right? Because if you don't have a lot of resources to resist, you're kind of thinking, well, should I resist the withers or wait and save them for the paralyzed?
paralyzed.
Yeah, there's just so much magic.
That's a lot coming at you.
I mean, this obviously worked quite well, but I'm just thinking, I wonder if I would have gone with a few more wild wargs just because he doesn't have the march in this army, which I respect that he instead of going for a more well-rounded build, he went all out on the shamans, right? You kind of have to if you're going to commit to this. But I'm just wondering a little bit about the mobility because you don't really want to send Gullivar to take objectives all the time because he's your centerpiece, right? And he needs to be killing things in most games. So in most Angmar armies, I generally ran maybe 3, 4 wild wargs.
Yeah.
I agree with that assessment as well.
Going to number 12, we have Tyler Stein playing Rivendell. His general is Elrond on horse, leading Rivendell warrior with banner, 2 with shield, 7 with shield and spear, 5 with bow, 1 Rivendell knight, Bilbo Baggins with the One Ring and the Mithril Coat. Second warband, we have Lindir with 3 elves with bow, 4 with shield and spear, 1 Rivendell knight, and then a 1-drop Rivendell captain for 28 models.
Hmm.
Very, very interesting. I've seen a couple Rivendell builds, in this edition, and we do think it's quite strong, but I haven't seen too much of Bilbo, to be honest.
I heard Bilbo did good this tournament. Tyler's a great guy also. He was gushing about Bilbo. I think Bilbo did some good things. Looks like his only loss was to Julian. Julian, who played the white hand with the Crebain spam. Even with Lindir boosting Elrond's wraths, that's still a tough matchup. But
Oh yeah. So Bill, this aging Hobbit Bilbo, does he have the good ring or the bad ring?
Good,
he's
good
he's
ring. Yeah.
he's he's the best one because he can join others
Yeah.
and
Okay.
lower the fight value. So you get Elrond and him into something. That's scary.
Yeah, then it makes sense why he did work. But yeah, I guess I haven't come up against the ring this edition yet. I do like how it works on paper, but I'm thinking your positioning has to be really, really on point because the 4-inch move to combo with, Elrond on horse. So just to get the assassination going, yeah, it might be a little tricky.
I've only ever fought the ring on Isildur so far this season. So
The ring is good, but the old Bilbo is just so fragile and so slow.
Well, we'll definitely talk about like what we think of all the lists after we look at them, like a conclusion. But so far, though, I just want to mention seeing a lot of armies under the 30 model count, which is
yeah,
very interesting because I played in Adepticon earlier this year and also 700 points. And I know it was a different meta back then. It was before like the release of the new stuff, but it was very hoardy. And I had a army with was it 32 models, and I felt like I was one of the lowest model count armies out there. So it's good to see the variety.
28 with elves isn't too bad, right? I think that's decent. I like the he's got two knights and a captain for some march, so he's got some maneuverability. I like the list for Rivendell. I personally like Super Arwen though, so I'm always trying to get her into my list. I think I played one tournament this year with the twins and Arwen, and I won the tournament, small one, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I guess Arwen is about the same cost as Lindir. You might even save a few points. So it's pretty close to a one-to-one swap. So it just kind of
Yeah.
depends. Do you want a super Elrond or do you want to split the threats, right? Two wraths going on at the same time, you know?
Yeah, I kind of like Arwen over Lindir for my choice. That's just my choice.
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Lindir last edition when he had his armor and horse, and he was still only two attacks, when he charged, but he was great. Uh, I used him to good effect at the previous Nova.
If Ian was here, he'd be defending hard for Lindir. He's a big
Oh, yeah.
Lindir fan.
He's a Lindir
Yep.
stand for sure.
I like Lindir too, but I like the buff Darwin.
Going to number 11, we got another Men of the West, Sam Frick.
Okay, so Aragorn, he's got six warriors of Minas Tirith with shield, three with shield and spear, five warriors of Rohan with shield and throwing spears, two warriors of Rohan with bow. His next hero is Gimli, son of Glóin, who also has four warriors of Minas Tirith with shield, two with spear and shield, three warriors of Rohan with shield and throwing spears, and then two warriors of Rohan with bow. And then lastly, he has Legolas with elven cloak and armor, 110 points there. 30 models. This is the biggest Men of the West one we've seen yet, and the only one I think I've seen with Gimli. Looks like he did well. Only lost to Ted, and Ted had the Sons of Earl cavalry list, which is really scary. I guess my only comment here is so many warriors of Rohan. Yes, it builds the models, but that's who I'd target to break, right? So
Yeah, no, for sure. Aragorn is actually, this is the one on armored horse, which makes sense because if you're not going to take Y here, then you're
you want him
absolutely
on
taking
horse.
the horse. Yeah, I do agree with the Rohan contingent, but I do think in this way that he's smart that he took spears on all of them, so he's not taking them as frontliners. I wonder if a few Warriors of Minas Tirith with shield or with spear is still worth it, just so you can get the a little bit more shield wall. Because
Mhm.
right now you're kind of getting it for the shooting phases and then maybe the first combat, but then after like the first combat where there's a couple of fights that get shifted around. If you just have the Minas Tirith shields in the front line, you're not really going to ever get defense 7 again. I think in that point, that you raise that it could fall apart quite easily in combat, especially given
It's
but
only 30 guys still at
it's still
700.
only 30 guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
So,
mean, again,
well,
4-1 though. So
yeah.
very, very solid.
And to only lose to Ted, that's pretty good. Looks like he had a good tournament as well. I don't recognize I do recognize Robert Loader, his first game. Great guy who does some tournaments in Virginia. I'm a people person. I like people, so you know, I like to
What
recognize you.
what does the 36 mean? Like the numbers in the middle between the names?
I believe that's the table they were on.
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's nothing to do with score. Okay.
No, no, that's the table that I mean, so in first game he started against on table 36 against Robert Loader,
Oh, okay.
and then he moved up to 18. Then he dropped after his loss to Ted. Then he moved back up to 18. Then he moved all the way up to 10, and then he won that game, which brought him up to 11th place.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and having three majors to having a tough start
Yeah.
and then having three majors is pretty good.
Okay, awesome. Well, going into our top 10. At 10th, we have Josh Ritz. So he's just running the Bjornings, where he's taking both bears and 15 Bjornings,
Mhm.
two bows, so 17 models. And yeah, it looks like he did the submarine, starting with a major loss, but then he went the rest remaining major wins. So this is very interesting. I haven't seen the Bjornings pop up as much this last year.
I actually played him also. Not Josh. I played a different Bjorning player. Yeah, it looks like Josh had a good tournament with Bjornings. Only two bows.
Yeah, it's a rough balance. Again, if Ian was here, I know he would just say max the bows, but I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right.
Maybe not for Bjornings, because those axes hit so hard, and
Yeah,
the bows were the softest. Like I had hobbits fighting the bow guys in combat, and they were doing okay. So, you know,
yeah.
so I think maybe this is the way to go.
I know Charles has had some experience with Bjornings this edition. What do you think?
Yeah, well, regarding just about the bow count, I totally agree because shooting with them can be a trap because your model's count is already so low. You want to send everyone in, right? The nerf to Heroic Strike it made both of these seem even more powerful than before with their fight values. Just they're harder to match now in combat, and I think it's pretty solid.
I was gonna say I'm gonna talk about fighting Bjornings when we get to my list. I
Oh yeah,
had Erner and Glorfindel fighting Grimbjorn for like 5 turns, and that didn't feel like it should have happened, right? And I so but anyways, continue.
yeah.
It's not
No,
your fault.
I think Josh did well. I don't know compared to before. I played them more times last edition, and it just seemed like they probably scaled better back then because they had the bigger banner effect, and now it's just 3 inches. So being able to fit enough, like having enough of your guys getting the reroll can be challenging at higher points. So that's like the main differences that I've noticed.
All right. Going into nine, we have another Rivendell player, Krister.
Wasn't there a Assault on Lothlorien, or was that something else?
Oh, so down at the bottom there, that was who top 10 I had who he lost to. Just to look at it, and I left it
Oh,
on there.
extra stat. Okay.
Yeah, he
Yeah, so
lost
that
against the
so
AOL.
that's yeah, that's Stephen McLaughlin's the one who he lost to, and that's who it was. And it was pool 6, so the unique pools, and the only person the Bjornings guy lost to was Assault on Lothlorien with 56 models. So that was
Oh,
just I don't know if I did that for everybody.
Good to know though. All right, Christopher Wemple at ninth.
yeah. So Christopher took in Rivendell as well, and I think this is more of the so-called standard Rivendell list. So he's got Elrond on horse, leading 2 Rivendell knights with shield, one warrior on foot with banner, 8 warriors with shield, and 7 warriors with shield and spear. And then Arwen on Asphalloth, leading 2 knights with shield and 2 warriors with shield. And then Lindir leading 5 warriors with elf bow. So that's a total of 30 models. He has the double wrath with Lindir and 4 knights. It's a pretty solid number of cav.
Yeah, I don't know about standard taking Arwen and Lindir, but it is cool. I mean, he's going all out for the named heroes and I guess the magic maximization. You're getting as many wraths as you can
I gue-
possibly get in
I
this.
guess a captain might be more standard than Lindir.
Yeah, yeah. Just well, this captain is more like well-rounded, right?
Hmm.
You have more bases covered, but this is like you're going all in on the magic.
Yeah, I would say that having two knights and then two knights and then Asphalloth and then on a horse for Elrond, 6 cav, still pretty quick. So I guess I can understand why you wouldn't take the march there. I think my only comment on it, I love this list, by the way. I'm a big fan. I'm gonna try it out. But what I will do is I will move those two Rivendell warriors with shield out of Arwen's and trade them with the two knights from Elrond. That way, Arwen, who has Askeladd, and the 4 knights are in one. So on the if I get screwed on the Maelstrom again, they can make the long run, and it'll
Yeah.
be okay. Because, but maybe that's not the right play at all. But that's based on my experience in Nova. That's what I would do right now. Or the other option is to put the 5 elf bows with Arwen because that way those bows don't have to make a long trek, and they can just be shooting as she's running to the other side. right? If that's the case for Maelstrom. I don't see them really needing the march compared to having, that many knights. You have so many knights there, you can afford to have one get off his horse and pick up whatever object or dig or whatever you got to do. So I don't know. I like this army. I'd play it, and it looks like you did very well.
Yeah, I like that suggestion. And honestly, it doesn't just apply to Maelstrom.
Yep.
We have a lot of scenarios now that split your forces, and not just divide
Yep.
and conquer. What is that new one?
I just played it. I forgot its name.
Yeah, yeah, the one with four objectives, and you have to bring it to the middle. Um,
Convergence, right?
Convergence. Yes,
Convergence.
that's
Yes.
correct. Yeah.
Yes.
So that would definitely be beneficial too. But yeah, I think very cool composition, and he basically won all majors on all of his games.
Who did he lose to? He lost to
He
Arnor
lost
in 4 objective scenarios. Hmm.
Arnor that was playing 25 points down.
What?
Yeah.
Is it because warbands were maxed?
Yeah, but you
Wow.
just take more expensive stuff like knights and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Maybe he's limited by the models he has.
yeah,
Very
or double
possible.
banner.
Yeah.
There you go. Give him
Yeah.
another. Yeah. Get another banner in there. I know if you with the box set of the Arnor guys, you get extra like you end up with more banners than you need anyways, right?
I would just stick a toothpick on, to be honest. Call it a day. All right. Going into eighth. This is Sam Gallagher from Gondor Calls for Ale. So, congrats to Sam. I know we talked about this in the Adepticon episode, but I kind of took him out for a podium spot, and I'm glad that he was able to have a very strong showing at Nova. He took Birder's Horde, and Birder is the general, leading one Angmar warrior with banner, five Angmar orcs with shield, one hill troll, five Angmar orcs with spear, one warg rider with shield, two warg riders with shield and throwing spear. Second warband is a Angmar orc captain, leading four Angmar orcs with shield, two Angmar warg riders with shield and throwing spear, another hill troll, and four Angmar Orc warriors with spear. And then the last warband, we have a Wild Warg chieftain leading eight Wild Wargs, two Angmar Warg riders with shield, and then one with shield and throwing spear. 40 models. This is a great list. I love Birder's Horde. We've talked about this on the channel a couple times. I still think it's very underrated. And yeah, he's got basically three trolls here and the Wild Warg chieftain. So yeah, it's gonna hit hard.
This makes me excited to try trolls. And I don't know if you say know Sam. The Gallagher brothers are great guys. Also,
Yeah.
a lot of fun. I was happy to see this. I didn't get a chance to follow any of the games or anything.
Well, they'll probably have an episode on that by the time this comes out. So you can
Right.
check out their battle reports.
But it looks like he only lost to Reclamation of Osgiliath, and then he uh he majored all the way after that. So great job, Sam.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about taking 7 Warg Riders? That's seems like, well, at least for me, more than I personally would go for.
So I think Birder's Horde is kind of interesting. I mean, I haven't played it myself, but it makes sense to me that you want a very mobile force because Birder's often going to deploy deep and into the enemy lines or at least far away from your main contingent. So the Wild War Chief and like his very quick warband can go like support if they need help and not get totally surrounded. And honestly, it also makes sense because I think he's trying to max out warbands here, and it just makes sense to have orgs and warg riders with the chieftain. First of all, like the reason that Frank talked about for the Rivendell list, just so you can travel together when your armies are split, but also because the heroics, right? You want to get value from it because if you're taking orcs with the chieftain, they can't even react off like the marches or the moves for the Wild
Mhm.
War Chief, right? So
Sorry, there are 8 Warg Riders and then 8 Wild Wargs. That's
yeah.
that's like half his army being mounted.
It's a lot. That's a lot of warg.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just realized that Birder is him and his warband is what gets to hide and pop up. That's really scary.
Yeah. He has a troll hidden in there as well,
Yeah.
so it's double
Yeah.
monster popping up behind your lines.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be tough. It's good with banner.
I'm
Has
curious,
to.
did you guys play the pool with reconnoiter and or destroy the supplies?
I believe we did.
Because this was a veto tournament, right? You got a veto
Yeah,
one.
so you veto, everybody gets to veto one, and it was you roll the high die, and the person who wins the high die with the higher roll has to veto first, which I hate. I like it the other way. But then you roll on the other two, to see what ends up happening, which one you end up playing.
Maneuvering is reconnoiter, storm the camp, divide and conquer, and escort the wounded.
I think that's the one we didn't play.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
But
that's right. So we did not play pool five.
I mean that's even more impressive that he performed this well without that pool because Birder's Horde is killer in that one. But they're
Yeah,
also very good in object scenarios. The one with destroy the supplies, retrieval, seize the prizes, treasure hoard. Pool one, the objective marker ones, pretty decent in Maelstrom too. I mean, that's what I like about this army, right? Like it can kill because of the monsters and stuff, but with the movement, it's gonna be most armies at like objective play.
yeah, even Maelstrom doesn't really bother you if you can just pop up wherever.
Great job, Sam. All right, going into seventh. Ah, it's our
Oh, hey,
guest, Frank. Would you do
all
the
right.
honors?
Sure. So you have to bring Erner, and I love him anyway, so I'm happy that I do. I brought the armored horse and lance. I'm toying with the idea of not doing that in the future to get more bodies. I got a block of five warriors of Minas Tirith with shield, five with spear and shield. I got one knight of Minas Tirith, which is always, everybody debates. A lot of people like a lot of knights. I don't because my knights always die in combat. I can never win a lance charge, so I use them for objectives. And then one warrior of Minas Tirith with banner. I also bring an elf banner just in case I got to pass it off to an elf. I also have Glorfindel, Lord of the West, on Aspharoth, my favorite horse. He has four elf warriors with bow, and that was specific because of situations like Divide and Conquer or Maelstrom. So that way Aspharoth can run and the bowmen don't have to go that far. Círdan, my MVP of the tournament, until he wasn't. Three warriors with shield, and then three with spear and shield. And then my other MVPs, the Ranger of the North with the six Hobbit archers, which I'm a huge fan of. I just love hobbits, and they did really good for me, even in the final game when all looked lost. I had to fight out from a really big hole. Okay, so where do you want me to start? Do you want me to just tell you about my games? I played on table 10, Bob Quinlan. Bob was such a nice guy, so fun. And he brought, and I thought I had a lucky draw at first, right? We played lead from the front, and Road to Rivendell was who he had. And I was like, oh man, no problem, right? Until I realized I was like, wow, Tom Bombadil and Aragorn in lead from the front. This actually could be tough, right? And holy smokes, those guys can move, right? You have Gildor and Glorian and his elves that move like eight, and then Tom Bombadil makes him go even faster, and then and then you get your free marches. These guys were all over the board. It was crazy. Um, but I won a 20-0 on that one, which was pretty tough considering you can't kill Tom, right? But great guy, great game, a lot of fun.
I hear you. I've had Road
Yeah,
to Rivendell experiences as well. It can be
yeah,
tough, actually.
yeah. So I was pleased to get out of to escape with a 20-0. Right? I felt like I escaped when I left. I was like,
Yeah.
wow, like, that was really hard. And then I played Colin Ward, who on table two. So that bumped me up to table two, where I got to play the Dragons of Moria list on capture and control, and that was as tight of a game as you could have. I had a couple of really tight games. Great game. I was lucky because at the team tournament, though, a couple weeks before, I got to play against Evan Iverson, who had this same list, and he destroyed me, obviously. But I learned a lot, and those lessons helped me in this game. So I kept it close, and then in the end, I pulled it out. Very, very tough game. Great opponent. Colin's gonna get me next time, I swear, because he's actually he played three Fell Beasts the previous Nova, and I beat him then, and I got super lucky then. I got much luckier that game. This game was a lot tighter game, and I made a bad play at the end because Glorfindel was like, I really want to charge Glorfindel into that dragon, even though I know he should go grab that objective, right? So I did it, and still ended up working out for me. I ended up winning, but it was it was the wrong play, but it was the lore thematic play. I'm like, I want to fight a dragon, but still got the victory. Barely. It was like a 1 point victory. That was my minor. Great guy, Colin, too. My next game, game three, against Lucas. That was my Bjornians player. Another, I just met Lucas this Nova, but he was a fantastic guy, a lot of fun. It was assassination, so we knew Grimbjorn was the target and the assassin, so I had to kill him. I assumed he would choose Glorfindel, and it didn't matter because Glorfindel was going to get in there, and I just had to keep Círdan and the Ranger safe, and I was right. He pulled some tech that he told me not to tell anybody his tech. He no, I have to. Um, so they don't have strike, but they have heroic defense. And that is really frustrating when you have, many, many turns of heroic defense. Uh, Grimbjorn faced the two of them while for many turns, and I rolled very poorly. And the rest of my army was just getting like whittled away by Bjorn. Luckily, it was assassination. Time ran out. I had killed Grimbjorn at the very end, and that was pretty much it. And yes, hobbits probably did the most kills with shooting and then in combat over the game. So they were my MVPs that game. Círdan did nothing, and my dice rolls were terrible. Once I killed Grimbjorn, it was going to be 17-0. We still had an hour left, and I guess I could have pushed for a 20-0. Lucas had already said he's like, you know what, I should scoop now because this is going to be a 20-0. I was like, well, let's just leave it where it is and let's go get a scotch because the last game of the day. So I went and bought him a scotch, and we enjoyed the rest of the time while everybody else played for another hour.
And wait for all this to blow over.
So at the end of the day, I was feeling good. Then I run into Keith the next day in the morning. Now I always tell everybody the one game you don't want to play me is game 4 because that's the game where I have all night to think about it because I'm not sleeping because I'm going to be thinking about the game, right? Especially like Devin saw me in the morning. I'm like checking out the battlefield, right? I'm like, thinking of all the scenarios. What missions do we not have? How am I going to approach it? I think way too much because I have all the time in the world to do it, right? So Keith, one of the Michigan guys, so him and let's see who, Julian, his buddy, and Keith were there, and we were talking strategy and just really good dudes. Keith played the Radagast Alliance. We played Seize the Prize. This game was even closer than my game 2 because in the very last turn of the game, the lead changed hand, I think 3 times. It was so close that it could have gone either way. I felt like Keith had outplayed me, but he made one critical mistake at the very beginning, giving me Guahir really early, and he kept me busy with the big guys. I don't know. I think he gave him to me too early, and I think he thought that too, right? He was a little disappointed with himself because I think the rest of the game he outplayed me. But and then sixth game was the Men of the West. Connor took second. He defeated me in the final game. It was so close that we had to ask the TO, Alisher, the TO, to come in and decide where everybody was on the line and everything, and ended up going his way by one. I think it was very close. That's why it's a minor. I don't remember exactly what the numbers were. Again, rolled poorly. Maelstrom hit 2s on Glorfindel and Erner, and Círdan, which was the big one because I did it with Círdan and I used the might. He didn't get trapped behind their line. Instead, he got trapped. He was just on the other side of the board because they would have been wiped out instantly. I played from out of a hole. Pretty proud of how it ended up. He still got me in the end. Little disappointed in that, mostly because I felt like I made stupid mistakes. Still got outplayed by Connor. Great guy. I can't wait I'm gonna get my revenge on him next time. I'm excited. You better watch out for me. It's all about the people. I love this community, man. They're all such good people, and I've never met a community of gamers that I enjoyed playing with so much and seeing them, year after year now. But you know, it was still I felt like I had a great tournament. I had a good time. I don't think I'd tinker with my list either. I really like how it performed when the way I thought it out.
Honestly, like great job. Like looking at where you were playing, I've had tournaments like this. the people that we've reviewed that finished right behind you, obviously great performances from them too, but there's something to be said when you win your first couple games and then you're hovering near top table the entire tournament, which means all your opponents were probably very, very competitive because they're scoring very high, especially at a huge tournament like Nova. And you losing and barely losing your final game, which was on table two, was very impressive. So, yeah, well
Thanks.
done.
Appreciate that.
Okay, well, since this is the perfect list with no changes, let us move on to number six. So I think we alluded to his list earlier that we have Ted, and it's the Fields of Celebrant. He has a hilarious name to his army. Don't talk to me or my son or my son or my son. And then this goes on about 15 times, and then or my son ever again, because his army is Earl the Young leading 15 sons of Earl. And then he is a king of men with lance and horse, with three warriors and ministers with shield, seven with shield and spear, two citadel guards with longbow, and then a captain of Rohan on horse, which is an interesting pick. And yeah, it seems like he had a very similar score to you, winning his first four games and then losing on the top table, which, yeah, you alluded to. He is the challenger of champions. Yeah, and looking at his strength of schedule, he seemed to have played quite a few players in the top. So we went over
Yep.
Sam Frick's list. He played against Scott Dronfield, who is also a top player, and then obviously Matt Iverson as well.
Yeah. I was on the table next to him and looked like a slugfest. It was pretty. I have to admit I was distracted and I kept looking over. It looked like Mr. Iverson grabbed an objective of some sort, and he was on top of the elephant, the Mumak, and I think he just held the Sons of Earl off, and that's how he ended up winning the game. Aren't Sons of Earl like three attacks or something on the charge?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, they basically have the two attack space. It's insane.
Yeah, that's insane. That much. That I mean, that's a scary cavalry list, and then piloted by someone as good as Ted. That's even scarier.
He's got strength four on those cavalry models as well. Even the King of Men can hit quite hard, and then
With the
Earl the
lance, yeah.
Young, yeah, with the lance. Earl the Young, you're regenerating my. I've had some experience playing with and against this army. It's very good. The only thing I would say is that it probably comes off as a little bit one-dimensional, where in these like really competitive games, like yeah, like you said, if your opponent picks up an heirloom or something, you don't have like the magic or like the tricks to kind of pull yourself out of it, no matter how good of a player you are. So that to me is a bit of a shortcoming for this army. But if it's piloted well, it's a very, very scary list.
It's a hammer anvil list that's mostly hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I,
Yeah.
I, I like it. I think, so far out of the list we reviewed, it's kind of like a 50-50 between banner and no banner out of the armies that can take a banner, which is interesting because we recently just reviewed the Articon top lists. And here it's Ted has gone with not taking the banner. So, which I would think that it would help the Cav a lot to have a banner in there. Interesting that he didn't go with it.
Yeah, yeah. Most of the variants I've seen have ran a banner, but I guess you're still rolling a decent amount of dice without it.
Hmm. Yeah, it just ups your number of fights, right? Win that you'll win.
Yeah, but I guess it's a little tricky with cavalry because cavalry banners are sometimes not the best value because how many combats are you really going to cover when you're full on charging with a cavalry line, right? You're sitting or behind your line with the banner. Maybe you cover like 3 to 4 fights. It's not as good as, or it's not as efficient as like an infantry line for sure. But it seems like he didn't fall in love with the longbows, only going with two, which I guess just for the fearless objective taking.
Yeah, yeah. It's a good day for Ian to skip out. I think there might have been only one list that maxed the bows.
I think took a sneak peek at these armies and then saw the lack of bows and just said he can't make it today. I think that's the reason.
I had max bows, including a ranger, so I was like 11 bows when 10 was my max. 10's the max, and then you have one hero bow.
That's
So
why that's
pretty.
why you had the perfect list. No comments.
I was pretty pleased with it. Did very well. The bows did very well. I got a lot of shooting kills, and normally shooting does not do well for me. So those hobbits, man, I'm telling you, they're
Yeah. All right. Going into the top five.
oh
So
boy.
this is Julian, right?
Yeah.
Not
So
sure how to say
Julian,
his nickname, but
I'm not gonna try. I know Julian won Adepticon, is that correct?
yeah,
So he okay. And he had the list of a lot of Crebain with no Saruman. Did very well.
this is
Uh,
wild.
so Army of the White Hand, led by a chieftain with 8 orcs with spear for Crebain. The next warband is the Oathmaker, 8 orcs with spear for Crebain. Then he had Gorolf, 8 orcs with spear for Crebain. A chieftain, 5 orcs with spear, 2 Crebain, and then another 1-drop chieftain. So he maxed all his games except for playing Matt Iverson on table 1 in the 5th game. And that was in the object scenarios. So
So it looks like 48 models, no banner. I don't even know how to start reviewing this army. This is crazy. I mean, I want to say it's bad so badly, but he did
did
so
so
well.
well.
So how could I criticize this? But oh, this is so weird. I
I think consensus was that Crebain that you just keep seeing more and more and more Crebain and that they need an adjustment maybe
yeah, yeah.
because they're really hard.
Yeah, I think that was the similar idea when we looked at the Articon winning armies. Just Kerbane is the best warrior model in the game, like for its points. You're not going to get better value than that. So I guess yeah, just abusing, pretending it's like a separate army, not caring about army bonus, not caring about anything, just spamming the best unit in the game. Guess it
Well, it
works.
worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting that he went with all spears on the orcs. It's not like they can support the Crebain.
Oh, true. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. I wonder what that thinking is, because at least the shields can hold up a little bit or make some sort of battle line. But yeah, interesting. But yeah, great job winning Adepticon and then coming fifth at Nova. So well done for Julian. Okay, we have number four, Adam Searless. Charles?
Adam took the Shire, and this is Gandalf in cart as the leader with 11 militia, Rosie Cotton and Lobelia. Second warband is Farmer Maggot with the 3 dogs and 9 militia. And then he has Hamfast Gaffer Gamgee with 18, oh no, 10 Hobbit archers. And then Paladin Took leading 11 Tookish hunters. And then Will Whitfoot, the mayor, leading 12 sheriffs. And then Lotho Sackville Baggins leading 6 militia. That is 70 models. And he went undefeated.
Mm-hmm. He had one tie in there.
He had a tie in third, and he tied against the third place, who
Mm.
we'll talk about next, Trey. I guess my only comment here is he didn't have the skipper of rocks, who is my favorite, because I don't roll a lot of sixes, but I feel like I would get some sixes on that one.
Yeah.
Big fan. Big fan of hobbits. They're super tough right now. And 70 models, like wow.
Yeah, you have a lot of things going on, a lot of special rules. You have a bit of everything, right? Banner effects, the dogs for some speed. Belia has some pretty good rules, but I think most of all, Gandalf on cart. The cart is insane. I've seen it wreck, Depths of Moria with the Balrog and the Watcher and stuff like that. The rules for that is just crazy. Yeah, that must be probably one of the best war gear in the game, I think, right now. It's so underrated. It's too bad, or maybe it's a good thing that it's only available in the Shire, but I definitely think that the cart makes the Shire a pretty solid list.
Yeah. He didn't take the what's his name? Wholefoot, the guy that gives sheriffs takes away their -1.
Oh,
That
like
guy's pretty
the
good.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
true. He didn't.
gives the burly one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would take him too.
Yeah. Probably more than Hamfast. I don't not sure exactly what Hamfast does. But
Hamfest, doesn't he do the flowers? Like get off my lawn,
uh
and those flowers are pretty nasty now, right? It gives +1 to wound. If like you place 3 flowers places, and then it does +1 to wound. I think that's pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah, that's him. So I guess with the Shire list, you have so many heroes, you just have to pick, right? You probably can't take everything, so.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he doesn't have the trap guy. He
Hmm.
doesn't. He has the flower guy.
I'm curious about Rosie because both of her special rules synergize with Sam, and she didn't, and he didn't take Sam.
Well,
mm.
she's also the banner though, right, for this list,
Oh yeah,
and
she's banner
she counts
VP,
as
right?
banner. Yeah, she
Yeah.
counts as banner like for banner VPs. So I feel like she's auto include
Oh yeah,
now
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
for only 20 points for a banner.
Oh yeah,
That's not
for an extra banner effect. Yeah.
bad. Yeah.
So that this is another sneaky advantage for this army. Unless you are someone who plays a Shire or someone as studious as Frank here, you probably don't know most of these rules. Like Charles and I have played this game for quite a long time, but I'm not going to pretend I even try to remember some of these people's rules. So I'm just like, doesn't he do that? Yeah. So it's
I don't know what the bottom three, Paladin, Will, and Lotho do. I don't know yet.
yeah. Will
Uh,
Will I think is the banner effect.
I'm not studious. I just have to if I get beat up on by something, I remember it. So
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah, I totally forgot about the Rosie being the 6-inch banner. That's a lot of banner coverage though, because 6 inches from Rosie, and then Will is, I believe, another 6 inch. Oh,
yeah,
sorry. They changed Will. He last edition he was a 6 inch banner effect. Now, he buffs fight value. So if he uses a Will,
Oh,
yeah.
the warriors within 3 of him get +1 fight for that turn.
okay. Fair
Yeah.
enough. And it makes sense that the only one that he tied in was the kill scenarios, which is it can be bad for the hobbits because you're trying to dodge Lords of Battle and Contest of Champions, depending on the matchup. I mean, the shooting is decent enough for Lords, but if they have like elf bows or something, you might be in trouble.
I love Farmer Maggot, but he doesn't make the most efficient assassin.
Yeah.
So,
Going to number three. So we have Trey hopped.
so he started with Gandalf the Grey as the general, with 8 Lake Town militia with bows. He has 6 Lake Town militia with spears. Then he has Hilda Bianca, which I forgot what she does, but I think it's something pretty good, like +1 to wound on the charge or something like that. Uh, 8 Lake Town militia with spears, 4 Lake Town militia with light shields, which I hate light shields. I know some people swear by them, but and then Toriel with 5 Mirkwood elves with shield, and then 3 Mirkwood knights, and then a single drop of Gwaihir. So 38 models, 10 might, 8 bows,
Yeah.
20 to break.
So this is the Battle of Five Armies. I've seen quite a few. I played it myself, but I've also seen others play it, and I haven't really seen too much of Gandalf the Grey in this army, this edition. So that's an interesting pick. Hilda, I didn't use her, but I can understand. Yeah, she does give like the +1 to wound bubble if she's charging in. Yeah, I also hate the light shields. Like, just just stay bows or spears. The ability to shield with those guys, I don't know. I don't want to pay a point for that. Regardless, Gwaihir is going to be the MVP for this army. And as much as I don't think Gandalf the Grey is like the most efficient model, pairing up a magic caster with a flying monster, even without like the command anymore, it's still good, right? Because if someone doesn't position well, you throw a transfix on, Gwaihir can easily barge into, whatever key piece and just assassinate them. So you always have to be watching out for that. I think Battle 5 Armies is the reason why we rated it so high. You can kind of mix and match heroes and yeah, it'll still perform. I am surprised no dwarves though. So again, it really seems like Nova people were just saying screw the banner VPs. We don't care.
Great job doing so well with this list because still hate the Lake Town militia profile. That's 26 D3 Fight 2 profiles. Rough on
Yeah,
paper, but yeah, well piloted.
yeah. He's still got 8 elves there, Toriel, decent secondary fighter, right? Gandalf's not bad in a fight. Hilda Bianca given the bubble to make everybody else
Yeah.
wound.
Yeah. But
You
like
know,
one bad
actually
turn
really,
of combat and you could be close to breaking, right? Yeah.
yeah. I still like the list. I think I want to try it or something like it. Looks fun. I
Yeah.
got a Toriel model I got to paint up.
Good motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah, congrats on third for Trey. All right. Going into Mid of the West here.
All
So
right.
yeah, Connor, since this is one of your opponents, maybe you can go through his list as well. Please go to
Yes.
Mid of the West.
So of course he brought LSR with Armored Horse. 5 men of the West with Shield. 5 men of the West with Shield and Spear. 2 warriors of Rohan Bow. Legolas with Elven Armor and Cloak. And with Legolas comes 5 men of the West with Shield. Uh, or Warriors of Minas Tirith, excuse me. Warriors of Minas Tirith with Shield and Spear. 5 more of those. So the same basic grouping that LSR has. And 2 warriors of Rohan with Bow. And then he had a captain of Minas Tirith with 2 warriors of Minas Tirith with shield, 3 with shield and spear, and then 2 warriors of Rohan with bow. Uh, the whole tournament, I kept hearing comments about how his list, people were talking poorly about the warriors of Rohan with bow. And I'll tell you what, Connor had the most bodies of anybody. How many has he got here? It was like 13, 13, 34, I think. Yeah, 34 for Men of the West is the biggest one, I think, of all of the Men of the West that are up there. And when I was on table three, there was 4 players above me, and 3 of them were Men of the West, right? And this is the one that had the most bodies, and it ended up winning the game for him against me because he had more bodies. I would have much preferred to play the 24-person Men of the West than the 34-person Men of the West, right? So yeah, he did very well. He played Alex Orsak in first and majored him. I don't know Matt or Mitchell. Played Zach Johnson, who's a very good player, and Minor defeated him, and then Minor defeated me both on table two. And he earned second place. And I can't speak highly enough about Connor as a player, as well as a just a really good opponent, fun opponent to play against. So I was lucky. I had a great tournament where I got to play a lot of fun people, and so good list. I also thought that it didn't have as much punching power as some of the other ones, but Legolas is pretty scary always. The captain of Minas Tirith stayed alive and won the game for him because he stayed alive. He gave dominant to his group, which ended. I thought I had more dudes there, and then dominant had he ended up having like 1 or 2 more guys than me because of dominant. So, good list, good game. Get you next time, Connor. Just kidding. I can't wait to play again, man.
Yeah, I guess with a tournament this size, both first and second could potentially go undefeated. So, without further ado, we have the number one list here, Matt Iverson, with another Men of the West. But this one with 24 models. So it's King Elisar with Armored Horse, leading 5 warriors and Minas Tirith with shield, 6 with shield and spear, Gandalf the White on Shadowfax with Pippin, leading 5 warriors and Minas Tirith with shield and 5 with spear. So 24 models. Also, yeah, going undefeated here. What I will say is, surprisingly, I think was it 4 Men of the West in the top 15, and they all have different builds. So
Mhm.
I think that is kind of cool, and I didn't realize it would be so popular. This is reminiscent of was it second place or one of the top places at Articon as well.
Second place, yeah.
Yeah, so people were not expecting, right? People knew Gandalf the White got a glow up in this edition, but were we expecting a second place and then a first place and 2 major international tournaments? Maybe not. So, very cool list though. I know we talked about it in the previous podcast quite a bit. Any thoughts, Frank? You saw this in person?
I've seen this in person. I was up at the top tables seeing Matt. It was very cool too because he had Men of the West defending the Pelennor. The Pelennor Fields was table one, and as you can see on the right hand side, he was on table one for a long time and defending, defending the Pelennor. Let's see, he beat Assault on Lothlorien there. He beat the Crebain, the dreaded Crebain list, and then Ted's Sons of Earl. I mean, he had a great tournament playing some top tier players. And I do want to point out Hagen there with who didn't submit his list. It's in red. Hagen and I went out and had tacos that night, so I think he still owes me money. So
Shout out to
Hagen,
him.
shout out to Hagen. I'm just kidding, Hagen. I know you paid me on PayPal, but anyways, I just want to bust his chops since he's didn't submit his list there. He was a great guy. I mean, I play Matt often. Again, I can't beat him. He's a very, very, very good player. And he has like all the armies and he plays all the armies and he likes to tinker and, play. He's always a different list every time. So he's not, I don't know, whatever people think about me playing the same list over and over again. That's just how I have to do it to get good at my list, right? But he literally plays a different list every time I see him and he goes and wins every tournament. So
Yeah, congrats to Matt for taking first at Nova. And yeah, that is our list review.
thanks for having me. This was fun.
Thanks for coming on. We're looking forward to seeing you at our local event next month, Clash on the Coast.
Looking forward to it. And I need a refresh of the Into the West dice because those guys, whenever I really needed a six man, those guys stood up for me too. I use them a lot when I roll Glorfindel because they're the nice light blue, and the six seems to pop up more than my Elven dice six, so big fan.
Yeah, I was just to say at the beginning of the show, you said you were going to hold off on your shout outs. Any shout outs?
Oh man, the whole Connecticut team, and so shout out to all the New England team. I don't know the global community yet, but I'm starting to get to know the national community for tournaments. But my New England community, bunch of really great guys, really great players. I'm trying to think real quick. Shout out to Jem for making that incredible display board. I don't know if you saw the display. Anybody saw the display board that I had? He's building me a Rivendell table too right now. A shout out to, let's see, Zach, who's our awesome 3D printer. Yeah, shout out to Ryan, my Eagles buddy. Too many to list, honestly. Like I like this community. I'm glad to be a patron of your guys' Into the West. I recommend everybody do it. See some cool videos, right? Get some awesome dice that actually roll sixes, because none of my other dice do.
Shout out to our awesome Patreon community. Check out Patreon for more details, which includes extra perks like extra content and custom dice. I also want to shout out our sponsors. Check out the Baron of Dice website for a wide range of dice, including for Middle Earth. And check out the Mithril Brush painting contest dedicated to Middle Earth. We're doing a giveaway for all patrons who've entered by the end of the year. Links in the description below.
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the New England, all the other I do listen to some other podcasts, Gondor Calls for Ale, the Gallagher Boys, right? Like them. Unexpected podcast. I listen to Matt and Evan. Not only do I play them, I listen to them so I can try to beat them, but I still can't beat them. And yeah, no, looking forward to seeing you all at Clash on the Coast. I'll probably remember like 7 or 8 of them after we hang up here.
Thanks to all our viewers for watching, and we'll see you all next time.